Hi there, I'm Claire. I'm 27 and I work as a smartphone app developer. I'm pretty much a homebody, love my peace and quiet, and prefer a good book or coding session to loud parties any day. My social circle is small, and dating has always been kind of a disaster for me. But all that changed one random day at a gift shop. I was just browsing, not looking for anything in particular, when I noticed this guy looking totally lost. He was standing there with a ceramic cat in one hand and a scented candle in the other, looking like he had no clue what he was doing. I couldn't help but laugh a little. "Need some help?" I asked, walking over to him. He looked up, looking relieved. "Oh God, yes. I'm trying to find something for my mom's birthday, but I'm completely clueless." I smiled. "Well, let's see what we can find. How about a nice vase? Moms love vases." "Yeah? That sounds good. I'm Tom, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Tom. I'm Claire." We spent the next few minutes chatting and looking at different vases. Tom was funny, making jokes about his lack of shopping skills, and I found myself laughing more than I had in a long time. After we found a vase he liked, we went to the checkout counter together. As we waited in line, he turned to me with a hopeful look. "Hey, Claire, would you maybe want to grab coffee sometime? I mean, if you're not too busy with all that app developing." I hesitated for a moment, but there was something about Tom that made me want to say yes. "Sure, why not? Coffee sounds good." We swapped phone numbers, and I left the store feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. I hadn't been on a date in a while, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But Tom seemed different, genuine, funny, and easy to talk to. A few days later, Tom texted me, and we arranged to meet at a cozy little coffee shop downtown. I arrived a bit early, nerves bubbling in my stomach, but when I saw Tom walk in, smiling and waving, I felt instantly at ease. We ordered our coffees and found a quiet corner to sit and chat. Tom was easy to talk to, and the conversation flowed effortlessly. We talked about our jobs, our favorite movies, and even our worst dating experiences, laughing over shared stories of awkward first dates. We'd been dating for a few months, and it was time for the next big step, meeting his parents. I was nervous, but Tom assured me they were nice people. When we got there, his mom, Mrs. Harris, greeted us at the door. She was a stern-looking woman with a cane, her eyes sharp and assessing. Tom's dad, Mr. Harris, was sitting in an armchair, barely looking up from his newspaper. "Mom, Dad, this is Claire," Tom introduced me with a big smile. "Hello, dear," Mrs. Harris said, looking me up and down. "Tom's told us a lot about you. Please, call me Evelyn. Come in, sit down." I sat on the edge of the couch, feeling like I was under a spotlight. Mr. Harris grunted a hello, but didn't say much else. "So, Claire," Evelyn started. "Tom tells us you work in tech?" "Yeah, I'm a smartphone app developer," I replied, hoping to keep things simple. Mr. Harris snorted from his chair. "Playing with toys, huh?" I forced a smile. "Not quite. It's more about creating useful tools for people." Evelyn leaned in, her eyes narrowing. "And how's the pay in that field? Decent, I hope?" I felt my cheeks flush. "It's good enough. I'm comfortable." Tom jumped in, trying to change the subject. "Mom, Dad, Claire's got a beautiful house. She inherited it from her grandmother." "Oh, really?" Evelyn's eyebrows shot up. "Where is it?" "It's not far from here. It's a cozy place, just the right size for me." Just then, Mr. Harris folded his newspaper and stood up. "I'm going to check the garden," he muttered, leaving the room. We walked outside, and I felt some of the tension ease away. Tom's parents were definitely a bit intense, but I could handle it. As we strolled through the garden, Tom looked at me with concern. "Sorry about my mom," he said quietly. "She can be a bit much." "It's okay, Tom. I can handle it," I replied, squeezing his hand. "She just wants the best for you." We spent a bit more time in the garden before heading back inside. Evelyn was waiting, her eyes still sharp but less intense. "Did you enjoy the garden, Claire?" she asked. "Yes, it's beautiful. You have a lovely home." "Thank you, dear. We're very proud of it." We chatted a bit more, and I started to feel a bit more relaxed. It wasn't the easiest conversation, but it was a start. As we got ready to leave, Evelyn gave me a quick hug. "Thank you for coming, Claire. It was nice to meet you." A few months after meeting Tom's parents, we decided to get married. We both agreed on a simple ceremony, nothing flashy. I never liked big weddings, and Tom was on board with that. His parents weren't too thrilled, but they went along with it. The wedding day was pretty low-key. We had it at a small park, just a handful of friends and family. I wore a simple dress, and Tom looked good in his suit. After the ceremony, we had a small reception at a nearby cafe. It was simple, just good food and close friends. Tom's parents were there, of course. Evelyn, his mom, looked around with a critical eye but seemed more relaxed than usual. "Congratulations, dear," Evelyn said, giving me a quick hug. "The ceremony was nice." "Thanks, Mrs. Harris. I'm glad you came," I replied, trying to keep things friendly. We mingled with our guests, keeping the atmosphere laid back. Our friends were cracking jokes and making toasts, and it was nice to see everyone enjoying themselves. We didn't have a traditional wedding cake, just a bunch of cupcakes for everyone. I picked out a chocolate one and took a bite. "These are good," I said, offering Tom a bite. "Yeah, they are," he agreed, getting frosting on his nose. As the night went on, I felt more relaxed and happy. It wasn't a grand event, but it was exactly what I wanted, a simple celebration with the people who mattered most. At the end of the night, Tom and I said our goodbyes and headed to my house, which was now our home. The house was perfect for us, with ramps and low steps, designed for my late grandmother's comfort. As we walked in, Tom's mom, Evelyn, looked around with a gleam in her eye. "This house is very convenient, Claire. Perfect for someone like me," she said, giving me a meaningful look. "Yeah, it's been great," I replied, feeling a bit uneasy. Evelyn kept looking around, clearly impressed. "This place is really something. Your grandmother must have been quite thoughtful." As the evening wound down, I couldn't shake the feeling that Evelyn had plans of her own. But for now, I focused on starting my new life with Tom, hoping for the best. So, things had been pretty smooth after the wedding. Tom and I were settling into our routine when everything took a sharp turn. It all started one evening when his parents came over for dinner. Evelyn, Tom's mom, was looking around the house with that same gleam in her eye. "It must be hard for you two to keep up with such a big house." I shrugged, not sure where this was going. "We manage. It's not too bad." Later, as we sat down to dinner, Evelyn dropped the bombshell. "Claire, Tom, I've been thinking. My house is just too difficult for me to navigate. I think it would be best if I moved in here." I almost choked on my food. "Move in here? With us?" "Yes," she said, as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. "It's just so much easier for me here." I looked at Tom, expecting him to say something, but he just nodded. "Mom has a point, Claire. It would be easier for her." I couldn't believe it. "Tom, we didn't even discuss this." "We're discussing it now," Evelyn said, her tone firm. "It's really the best solution." I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "We need to think about this. It's a big decision." The next day, I came home from work to find movers unloading Evelyn and Mr. Harris's stuff into my house. I was furious. "What's going on here?" Tom met me at the door, looking sheepish. "Mom and Dad are moving in. Claire, it's just for a while. They need a place that's easier for them." Evelyn walked in, acting like she owned the place. "Claire, we need to move some furniture around to make it easier for me to get around." I was still trying to process what was happening. "What do you mean, move things around?" The bedroom on the ground floor, for starters. It's the best room for us. That's our bedroom, Evelyn, I snapped, my patience wearing thin. Well, you'll have to move upstairs. I need the ground floor room. I looked at Tom, hoping he'd back me up. We're family, Claire. Families help each other out, he said, like it was the simplest thing. I had no choice but to go along with it. The movers finished up, and before I knew it, Evelyn and Mr. Harris were settled into our bedroom, and Tom and I were crammed into the smaller upstairs room. Over the next few days, Evelyn made herself right at home. She didn't lift a finger around the house, always saying her leg was too sore to help. I was left to cook, clean, and take care of everything while Tom acted like nothing was wrong. One evening, after a particularly long day, I sat down with Tom. Tom, this isn't working. We need to set some boundaries. Evelyn, who had been eavesdropping, walked in. Claire, if you have something to say it to my face. I stood up, my anger boiling over. Fine. You're taking over my house, Evelyn. You need to help out more around here. Evelyn's face hardened. I'm a guest here, Claire. I shouldn't have to lift a finger. I stormed upstairs, feeling trapped and frustrated. My house didn't feel like my home anymore, and I didn't know how to fix it. The invasion had begun, and I was stuck in the middle, trying to hold on to the life I had built. After Evelyn and Mr. Harris moved in, my life turned upside down. I was used to my space and routine, but now everything revolved around them. I was even forced to switch to working from home for a whole month, to establish a normal life. Every morning, I'd wake up early to make breakfast. Evelyn always had a list of specific things she wanted. Claire, I need my tea a certain way. Make sure it's not too hot, and don't forget the lemon, she'd say, her voice carrying from the kitchen. After breakfast, I'd clean up the kitchen while Evelyn watched her morning shows. Claire, can you turn up the volume? My hearing isn't what it used to be, she'd call out. Once the kitchen was clean, I'd try to get some work done. I'd set up my laptop in the small upstairs room Tom and I now shared. But it was hard to focus with the TV blasting downstairs and Evelyn calling for me every few minutes. I'd run up and down the stairs all day, trying to keep everyone happy. It was exhausting. I felt like I was losing my mind, trying to juggle my job and their constant demands. One afternoon, I finally snapped. I was in the middle of a video call with my team when Evelyn barged in. Claire, I need you to run to the store. We're out of my favorite cookies. I muted my mic and turned to her, trying to stay calm. Evelyn, I'm in the middle of a work call. Can it wait? No, it can't. I need those cookies, she insisted, crossing her arms. I took a deep breath, feeling my patience wear thin. You'll have to wait. I can't just drop everything. Evelyn stormed out, mumbling about how things used to be different in her day. I unmuted my mic, forcing a smile from my team. Sorry about that, everyone. Let's get back to it. After the call, I went downstairs, hoping for a moment of peace. But Evelyn was waiting for me, a scowl on her face. You're not being very accommodating. We're guests in your home, and you need to treat us with more respect. I was about to argue back when Tom walked in, looking tired. What's going on here? Your wife is being difficult, Evelyn said, turning to him. Claire, you need to be more patient. Mom's not asking for much, he said, clearly siding with her. Not asking for much? She's driving me crazy, Tom. I snapped, feeling the tears well up. Evelyn gasped, putting a hand to her chest. How dare you speak to me like that in my son's house? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Your son's house? This is my house, Evelyn. Enough, Claire, Tom said, stepping in. We're all family here. Let's just try to get along. I stared at him, feeling completely alone. Fine, whatever, I muttered, turning away. A month later, I returned to my usual office work and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, this did not free me from household chores. I'm really tired. Life at home had become a real mess after my return to the office. Every day was a struggle with Evelyn and Mr. Harris, constantly needing something. Then, one night at dinner, Evelyn dropped a bombshell. "Claire, you're not keeping up with the housework," Evelyn said, looking at me over her glasses. "I think you should work from home more. Just like before. You'd have more time to manage things here." I stared at her, stunned. Work from home? Evelyn, I love my team and my job. Going to the office is my only break from all this. Tom jumped in, siding with her. "Claire, Mom's right. If you're home more, it'll be easier for everyone." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Easier for everyone? What about me? I need a break from all the noise and demands here. Evelyn crossed her arms, looking stern. "Claire, I need care. My leg gives me a lot of trouble, and it's hard for me to do things on my own." I felt cornered, their eyes on me, pushing me to agree. I can't just switch to working from home. I need to talk to my boss. The next day, I called my boss and explained the situation. He was understanding and allowed me to work from home. But as soon as I made the switch, things got worse. Evelyn and Mr. Harris turned into a constant source of interruptions. "Claire, I need you to make lunch. And don't forget the special soup I like," Evelyn would call out. "Claire, the TV isn't working. Fix it," Mr. Harris would demand, even though it was just a matter of pressing a button. And the TV was always blaring at full volume, making it impossible for me to concentrate on my work. I tried talking to Tom about it one evening. "Tom, I can't keep working from home like this. Your parents are driving me crazy with their demands." "Claire, they need us. You need to be more understanding," he replied, dismissing my concerns. "I'm trying to be understanding, Tom, but I'm burning out here. I need some peace to do my job," I said, my voice shaking. "You're overreacting, Claire. Just try harder," he said, not even looking at me. I felt like I was losing my mind. Every day was a new demand, a new interruption. I was mentally and physically drained. The house, which used to be my sanctuary, had become a place of constant stress and noise. One day, after yet another interruption, I couldn't take it anymore. Evelyn had barged in, demanding I fix the TV again while I was on an important call. I snapped, slamming my laptop shut and storming downstairs. "Enough. I can't do this anymore," I shouted, my voice echoing through the house. "I'm tired, Evelyn. I can't work with all this noise and constant interruptions. I'm not your maid or your personal assistant." Tom came rushing in. "Claire, calm down. What's going on?" "I'm done, Tom. I can't keep sacrificing my job and my sanity for your parents. This has to stop," I said, tears streaming down my face. Tom looked at me, his face serious. "Claire, you need to get a grip. We're all trying our best here." I shook my head, feeling a mix of anger and despair. "I've reached my breaking point, Tom. Something has to change, or I can't stay here." The room fell silent, my words hanging in the air. I knew things couldn't go on like this, and I needed to find a way to reclaim my life, no matter what it took. So, we were all having dinner, me, Tom, and his parents. I'd had enough of the constant stress, and I decided it was time to speak up. "Listen, everyone," I started, putting down my fork. "We need to talk. It's getting too hard for all of us to live in this house together. We need to figure out a way to separate." Evelyn, my mother-in-law, jumped in before I could finish. "I agree, Claire. This house is very comfortable and suits someone like me perfectly. Since it's so convenient for me, you should be the one to move out." I stared at her, stunned. "You're telling me to leave my own house?" She nodded, looking very pleased with herself. "Yes, dear. It's only logical. This house is perfect for an elderly person like me." I turned to Tom, hoping he'd support me. "Tom, are you okay with this?" He shrugged, avoiding my eyes. "It's fine with me, Claire. Maybe it's best if you find another place. I'll hire a nurse for Mom, so she's taken care of. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were pushing me out of my own home. I realized then that Tom and his parents were taking advantage of me and trying to drive me out. I got up from the table, feeling a strange calm wash over me. "All right then," I said, smiling. I picked up my phone and dialed the movers. Evelyn and Mr. Harris exchanged pleased looks, thinking I was leaving. "Good decision, Claire. It's better this way," Evelyn said, almost smugly. But I had other plans. "Yes, I'd like to schedule a move," I said into the phone. "Please send a team to pack up my in-laws' belongings and move them out of my house." Evelyn's face went pale. "What are you doing? You can't kick us out." "Yes, I can, Evelyn. This is my house," I said firmly. Tom jumped up, furious. "Claire, if you make my parents leave, I'll go with them." I looked at him, feeling strangely calm. "Fine by me, Tom. I'd be glad to see you go." He looked shocked, not expecting that response. "You don't mean that." "I do, Tom. I'll send you the divorce papers tomorrow." Evelyn started to cry, calling me a cruel girl. "How can you do this to us, Claire? We're family." I shook my head. "Family doesn't treat each other like this, Evelyn. You pushed me too far." The movers arrived within the hour. Evelyn and Mr. Harris had to pack their things, cursing and complaining the whole time. "You're heartless, Claire," Evelyn yelled as she packed her belongings. "I'm just standing up for myself, Evelyn. You should have respected my boundaries," I replied, watching her pack. As they loaded their things onto the truck, Evelyn kept shouting about how I was throwing out a sick, elderly woman. But I didn't budge. I stood my ground and watched them leave, knowing I was finally taking back control of my life. Once they were gone, the house felt strangely quiet, but it was a peaceful quiet. I knew I'd made the right decision, and I was ready to move on with my life, free from their demands and manipulations. After I kicked Tom and his parents out, I knew what I had to do. I filed for divorce and cut all ties with them. It was tough, but I felt free for the first time in ages. I went back to my job at the smartphone app development company, and I finally started enjoying my work again without all the chaos at home. I heard through the grapevine that Tom was still living with his parents, and they were becoming even more moody and unbearable. It didn't surprise me. They always needed someone to lean on, and now Tom was stuck dealing with it all. One day, out of the blue, Tom called me. I was surprised to see his name on my phone. I hesitated but decided to answer. "Hello?" "Hey, Claire, it's Tom," he said, sounding nervous. "Yeah, I know. What do you want, Tom?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "I've been thinking a lot about us, and I realize I made a huge mistake. I want to make things right," he said, his voice shaky. I sighed, already feeling tired of this conversation. "Tom, it's over. We've been through this." "I know, but I'm serious. I'm ready to cut ties with my parents if that's what it takes. I want you back, Claire," he pleaded. "It's not just about your parents, Tom. The problem was with you. You never stood up for me, and you let them walk all over us," I said, trying to stay calm. "I know I messed up, but I can change. I'm ready to put you first now," he insisted. I shook my head, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. "Tom, it's too late for that. You had your chance to stand by me, and you didn't. I've moved on." I put down the phone, feeling a strange mix of emotions. It was sad, but also liberating. I had made the right decision for myself, and I wasn't going to go back to that toxic situation. In the following weeks, I threw myself into my work. My team noticed the change in me, and my boss even commented on how much more focused and productive I was. I also reconnected with some old friends and started going out more. It felt good to have a social life again without the constant stress hanging over me. One evening, I was out with my best friend, Sarah. We were having drinks at our favorite bar, catching up on everything. "So, how's the single life treating you?" Sarah asked, grinning. Honestly, it's great. I feel like I've got my life back. No more drama, no more stress, I said, raising my glass. We laughed and talked about all the things we wanted to do now that I was free. I even started thinking about taking a vacation, something I hadn't done in years.